for you to perform on stage. They're performing for your appearance. They're paying for your whole being of getting there and the whole experience.
Yeah, and they want you to be a part of it.
Yeah.
And after all, they're paying for the promoter title,
Right.
and they're bringing you in, and so they do want you to meet their group,
Right.
and they want you to talk at the rehearsal and
Right. Greet the contestants and all of those things.
Absolutely, and it's absolutely imperative.
Totally.
What do you think your strength is as a performer?
Ooh. The way I describe myself, I think, is that I'm not really spectacular at one thing, but I think I'm good at many things. Whereas like some people are really great at just dancing, or some are really great at just being glamorous. I kind of feel like I kind of can do everything pretty well. I'm not really superb at any one area. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And sometimes I feel like that may not be such a good thing, but it's worked for me. I think my personality.
Who would think that that's not a good thing? Because really, I'll tell you, you're a great dancer. You're a really great performer. And you do lip sync very casually well. It looks so easy for you. You're a great MC.
Thank you.
You do really fabulous hair.
Thanks.
What do you think your weakness is?
Personally, I think my weakness is just my insecurity with my weight. That is, I think, my own personal thing, because I think if I were to feel better about my weight, then I would have more confidence on stage.
I understand that.
Yeah. But I think, other than that, I think, I'm pretty good with everything else, or comfortable anyway.
I think that your impersonations are so great.
Thanks.
Because they're not dead on.
Right. Yeah.
They're always just a little skewed to Layla LaRue.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I think that is one of your strengths.
Oh, thanks.
Is that you give them a little bit of the reality of what or who you're impersonating, but then and you do a little bit of the moves of, like Tina,
right.
And my favorite is what's her name?
Amy Winehouse.
Amy Winehouse. It's my favorite because it's Amy Winehouse kind of with a little bit of a skew.
Yeah.
And the very first time I saw her on video, I just watched her, went, Layla LaRue is going to eat this up, because she has all these little hand things that you do.
Yeah.
And so I think really that is your strength, is that you really pull in the audience. You give them enough to feel comfortable, and then you put a little skew of Layla LaRue in it, and so it's very captivating.
It works for me, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Because I don't think I look like anyone I try to look like, but my whole thing is I really like the idea of the way that they're dressed, or the way that they sing, or their way of being and performing, and so I want to be a part of that. And so that's what I try to give the audience, is as close as I can to whatever it is that I'm trying to do.
Who is your favorite to impersonate?
Probably Tina Turner, because she's so energetic, and people just love that energy,
They do.
And sometimes, even though sometimes they kind of make me feel like I could really be Tina Turner, because when they start feeding off of your energy and they want to dance with you, and that energy starts going and traveling throughout the room, you can feel it. You can feel it, and that's when I have the most fun.
I used to do a comedy Tina Turner.
Oh, really?
And and I'm going to tell you, it really was a blast. Just, being able to do all of those funny little movements, and then I always wore that really crazy, stupid mullet, crazy hair, leather jacket. I haven't done it in a long time, and I should probably pull it out, because I always had such a blast doing it.
Just love
because
it.
I'm making fun of it, but I'm also celebrating it.
Right.
Yeah.
And people just like. I think when I watch out the audience, when I'm looking at the audience, and you can tell whether they're young or they're old, it gets them all feeling the same.
Yeah, they get it.
Yeah.
And they get it. And something so iconic as Tina Turner.
Right.
Who is your favorite entertainer in the female impersonation field?
Ooh. To be my favorite entertainer probably has to be. It's a toss-up, really, because I can watch Erica perform just as much as I can watch Whitney perform. Because I think if I could be a mixture of either one of those together, I think I would be the most fiercest queen ever.
Yeah.
Because
I get that.
One, is going to give you the glamorous and the everything, the look and everything, and the other one's just going to give you all that energy.
And just that captivation.
Right. It's that she commands your attention.
She really
I
does.
love that.
Yeah.
On stage. Yeah.
I shouldn't say this out loud, but I'm going to. Erica sometimes is really lazy with learning her words.
Yes.
And,
I think that's one of her signature marks that she's going to leave.
When she starts twirling that hair, she doesn't know the words.
Right. She used to glitter her lips. She stopped that now. But she used to glitter her lips. Anytime she would put glitter on her lips, we knew that she
did
not
know a word of it. That's hysterical. So let's talk briefly about your trials and tribulations. Can we talk about
sure.
the overcoming cancer?
Yes.
This is 2010.
10.
You found out you had
lymphoma.
Mm-hmm. And you basically moved to California and overcame that. So
right. Well, I moved to California for a couple of reasons. The main reason was that's where my mom was, and she wanted me to be there with her so that she could pretty much take care of me. And the oncologist that took care of me was her oncologist that took care of her when she had breast cancer. And so that's really what hooked me up with the doctors and all of that.
Did you ever think I'm going to die?
I did. Because I didn't. Cancer is so, I'm still learning, that you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And all of my life I've been able to control everything. And so when something that is completely out of your hands, is being shown to you that, what, you don't know. You can't control this. That's the scariest part of the whole situation, I think. And
another, Layla LaRue rally, really.
Yes.
I mean, not only did that happen in Dallas, but it happened in San Antonio and Atlanta and
right.
Houston. And,
right.
People really were,
right.
rallying around you.
Yeah.
And did that give you a little bit of, we'll call it strength for lack of a better word?
What it gave me was, it gave me a realization about myself that I never really knew before, or maybe thought but I didn't really accept. And that was that I never really thought that, not that I didn't matter, but I never really thought that I meant so much to so many different people. I thought that what I did was fun, and it was my job, and I entertained people for the hour or 2 or 3 that were there, and and then that's it. They're on their way and I'm on my way, and that's it. But this brought me to more than that. It made me realize that I do make a difference, and I make a difference in other people's lives, and that's what it really taught me. And I don't know if maybe that was the whole reason why this happened to me, but if it is, then I'm glad that it did, because I never thought that people would do anything for me, because I just didn't think that. I was like, what? So it was an overwhelming feeling to go through what I was going through, but then on top of that, learning to find out that all of these people whom I know just because I've seen them, I don't even know their names, but they went out and supported me and showed me and loved me, and not just for me, because they were really doing it for my family, and so I forever will be feeling like I owe the community my life because of so much that they did for me. I feel that for real.
I'm pausing because I think it's really important. I think it's and it's really beautiful. And in the time that you were in California, it was about 9 months?
Yes.
About 9 months. What did it feel like when they said to you, you're good to go?
I didn't really believe it at first. I was like, not until I get back into my apartment, into my vehicle, into my drag station, then I'm going to believe that I'm okay, or that I'm, okay to go on with my life. Because I really thought that my life was kind of just taken away,
Yeah.
And so I was nervous, I was very nervous. Even when I went back, I was like, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to start, And then I got the hang of it again, and, it's like riding a bike. You don't forget.
Yeah, you
even if
don't.
you haven't been on it, you just get back on it and you find an easier route.
What is your role as a role model? What do you want people to learn from Layla LaRue?
I think it's important for me to make sure that people understand that if you believe in yourself, and if you take pride in yourself, you can make a difference. And I want to make sure that I represent myself in a positive way to everyone, not just to some, because it's important that people who don't understand what I do for a living maybe take a different approach for it, or towards it, and those that do understand what I do for a living understand why it is that I do what I do and don't disrespect it. Because I think nowadays everything is so fast and people want fast results and fast everything. But
And they want
sometimes
yeah,
we don't.
It's
don't
the
wanna
whole
work
age of
for it.
reality. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want it now. Get it now.
Right. Without really working for it or
Yeah.
really earning it. And I think what I want people to understand and want as Layla fans or supporters is to know that everything that I have received, I've earned because I worked for it, and I respected myself in the process of trying to reach it.
How many drag children do you have?
Well, there's several illegitimate kids. But
Do they have the LaRue name?
they do have the LaRue name. I really only own up to Amanda,
Come on, turkey leg!
Turkey Leg, Amanda, Joey, RK LaRue, Eric LaRue, and Trevion LaRue. As Unique is kind of like, she's my daughter as far as, I can't say she's not my daughter because she, asked if she could be,
And you get into a whole lot of, and I've had people to ask me if
Yeah.
I would be their mother,
yeah.
and basically my answer has always been no.
Mm-hmm.
I have said yes one time, and I said once yes, or I said yes once because the pieces all fit.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't feel like I was being worked for bookings.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't feel like, I want to be a Robinson because you are the girl that can get me into a show.
Right.
I said yes because the pieces fit. And so how do you, as someone like Layla LaRue, how do you say no? How do you say yes? We'll just use Amanda for an example. How did she come about, and what were the circumstances that said, yes,
Well,
I really want to help you, or I want to be
Right.
your mentor.
Right.
And a lot of people misunderstand what drag mother is, and it's
Right.
really, I am really signing on to be your mentor, your guide,
Right.
your help, your
Right.
teacher.
Yeah, and that's really how it started with Amanda. Is she was performing, and I would let her perform in my show in San Antonio, and I would encourage her because I saw potential in him as an individual, and saw how much he really enjoyed it. And then, but I never thought that he, by me encouraging him to do it, and I would give him ideas and that, that he was kind of taking it in a different way, like, oh, well, you could be my mom. And so I never expected that. So when he asked, he had a rose in his hand, and he was like, it was after the show.
Come on,
He was-
turkey
yes,
leg.
He was like, I have a question to ask, and I felt like he was this little young person asking for permission, and I just couldn't say no. I couldn't do it.
Have you
And-
said
and
no?
I've tried to say no. I've tried to say no in the nicest way. I've said no twice, actually.
Well, because when you tell me of your children, they're predominantly male,
Yes.
except for Amanda. Amanda
Right.
is
And
a
As
drag
Unique, the
queen.
only reason that I like As Unique, I just don't have a personal friendship that's that close to be able to say, yes, I'm going to be your mother, because I have that with everyone else. You
Right.
know? But it's a lot easier to tell the boys yes.
Yeah.
Because the girls, I'm going to be a little bit harder on, or I'm going to expect more things from, or
And you know that they're going to expect more from you.
right, Yeah,
because,
totally.
grooming a boy
right,
is really different.
right,
It is. It's just really different, especially if they just want to be backup dancers or if they
Right.
want to be Mr. Texas. It is a totally
Right.
it's a totally different arena,
right.
and so it's easier to say yes there.
Mm-hmm.
So in the case of Amanda, when she worked in the Rose Room, I could see that you were proud of her.
Yes, yeah. Anyway, and he makes me proud just because I like the effort and the work that he puts into what he does. And he's so about learning and so about getting better. And I really like that in him, because I see a lot of that of myself when I was his age, or when I was first starting, that, his eagerness to learn and eagerness to get better. And, he gets a little ahead of himself sometimes. But I
We
think
all
that-
do.
Yeah, but I like that about him.
How's he
You know?
doing at Miss Gay Texas
He's
US of A
doing,
right
he's
now?
doing good. He's doing real good. Yeah.
Tonight is finals, isn't it?
No,
No.
Sunday.
Sunday,
Sunday
is.
is,
Yes. Texas FFI, you are now the promoter of, and how can people find you to find out more about Texas FFI? And I know that the finals is in the Rose Room, and that is September 23rd. And you've got a couple of preliminaries coming up. How can people follow you for that?
Well, they can follow me on Facebook, or they can, look up Miss Texas FFI on Facebook or the website. But yeah, we've got. I was trying to get total of 10 prelims for Miss Texas FFI this year. I have total of 5 that are scheduled, so I'm halfway there. And it's really just my own. I don't have time that I need to invest into it to make it more successful. But yeah, the pageant is September 23rd. We've got 3 prelims coming up in the next 3 weeks: Corpus FFI, Fort Worth FFI, and River City FFI. And I'm looking for. I'm hoping that this next year is going to be a lot better than we had last year. We had a good turnout. Not the quality of the contestants is what really was my concern last year. I'm hoping that Miss Texas FFI will get the quality of contestants that it should be getting.
Yeah.
And not the ones that we got last year. Not that there was anything wrong with them, but they were, some were newcomers, some, were not that experienced. And I'm looking for ones that have a name, that have the support, that are going to be able to bring that Texas FFI back to the standard that it was.
Yeah. And that is September 23rd in the Rose Room with Layla LaRue. She is the current reigning Miss Gay US of A Classic.
Yeah.
You can find her in the Rose Room on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And in San Antonio, you work Wednesday night at the Heat.
Tuesdays and Wednesdays at the Pegasus.
Tuesday and Wednesday at Pegasus. Layla LaRue, you can find her every weekend in the Rose Room. Layla, thank you very much
Thank
for
you
joining me today.
very
It was
much.
really a pleasure.
My honor.
Thank you for tuning in. This is Richard Curtin saying, just keep breathing with Layla LaRue. One more time, thank you very much
Thank
for coming.
you.
Have a great afternoon.
But it's really not like